Hello and welcome back to my garden. Today we are doing a little bit of garden pottering. I have a few jobs that I want to get done. It's going to be 35 today, so it's probably a silly day for me to be doing it, but you can't really choose the weather you're going to get on your days off, so you just got to make the most of it, I guess. Hopefully we're going to start seeing the last of these really hot days and it's going to start cooling down very soon. I have some veggies that I'm going to pick today. I've got a whole bunch of eggplants. I think I've got too many eggplant plants. Um, so I'm going to take a couple out. Even though they're still happy, I just need to start clearing some space for those cooler season crops. And speaking of crops, I've got my corn that needs to come out. I think they are done and dusted for the season. But if you are new here, welcome. My name is Michael and I love all things gardening, specifically fruit and veggie gardening. So if that's something that you are into, you have come to the right place. And if it is something you do enjoy, if you do enjoy this video, please do give me a good old thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. Now let's get growing. First on the agenda is seeing to my poor old Paw Paw, which I planted probably a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think it is doing too well. It might just be a little too sunny here, especially with these really hot days. So I've got a plan to give it a little bit of shade. So let's get that done now. Please ignore the mess and my cars. Well, one car and the husband's car. This is my plan. The trusty umbrella, big old beach umbrella. It's covered in, it's made with like a, almost like a, what's it called? Shade cloth material. It was just a cheapie from Bunnings, got it years ago. And I used it for this specific purpose of shading my veggie beds in my previous house. So I thought, let's put it over the top of my Paw Paw, and hopefully that helps it. The trick is going to be trying to get the post in the ground. But north is that way, so the sun moves in that direction. So I think I should probably put it about here. It's got a bit of a corkscrew end to it, made for going in beach sand. Yeah, how far down I'm going to be able to get it. If it's very windy, it's just going to blow away, that's the problem. Using my weight to try and push it further into the ground. I think it's working. Okay. Been in the shed. Cockroach. Oh, it's got a few holes in it. Oh no, the tree's in the way. And now you can angle it. already wobbly. And the tree. Might work. Don't know how long it's going to stay there for. I moved it and I think it's more stable. Fingers crossed. There we are, job one done. And I like the rainbow pattern. Not quite a rainbow, but you know what I mean. Let's hope it helps my Paw Paw out. This is my little garden within a garden, just off my back deck. I've shown it previously in one of my other videos. It's a tiled area that's only 3 meters by 4 meters, and I've planted an abundance of fruit and veggies here as almost like an experiment of, not an experiment, but an example of what you can do even if you do have limited space at home. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, so it's time to tidy up. Got my secchies, because we're going to get to those eggplants. I've got one of my wicking beds here, which has got a whole bunch of things in it. I've still got some zinnias growing, which are just going over. I'm going to save some seeds from this and maybe scatter a few around, and they'll probably pop up next season. Here is one of said eggplants, which has fallen over under the weight of the eggplants. I'm going to pick them. Don't know that all of them are ready, especially not that little guy. That's a good little egg, good little size. I didn't bring a basket. Oh, I've got a tray. A very unglamorous, not Instagram-worthy tray. Go in there. I was going to pull the eggplants, the plants themselves out of this bed, but I think I'm going to leave them and pull them out of my veggie pod, which is just behind you, because they're reaching the top of the cover and they don't have any fruit on them at the moment, whereas these guys do have fruit on them. So I'll take those out and utilize the space there for some new things. Eggplants, another one. What am I going to do with all these eggplants? Little ones that are just not, I think it's gone over as well. It's very hard. You can tell an eggplant is ready. Well, you can tell an eggplant has gone past ready. It's when it starts to lose that nice deep purpley color and it doesn't have much give in it, almost like an avocado where you give it a bit of a squeeze and it just has a nice little soft push to it. If that makes sense. A few more eggplants on this one. I think I need to stake it up as well. Keep it a bit more upright. Falling over under the weight of its fruit, I believe. Not a random little baby. How's that for some eggplants? I've also got in this bed my little, I don't even know what type of zinnias they are, but they're very cute, just a dwarf variety. It's slowly going over. There's still a few new buds on it, but I don't know whether it's worth keeping it or just getting rid of it. But I am, got my little paper bag, going to cut some of the dry seed heads off and save them for next season. I'll have seeds galore, zinnia seeds galore. Oh, that should do it. Oop. Where am I going to put it? Over here. I've also got this cosmos in this bed, which is massive. But it seems to only just be coming into flower now. And I would like to use the bed, but I also do like the cosmos. Maybe I'll leave it for a little while longer. But there is some other dead things in here which can come out. This is my veggie pod, which has a cover on it. As you can see, my eggplant here, which has got heaps of flowers on it. That's why I've just been tossing up whether to get rid of it or not. I think I'm going to get rid of it. I've still got 2 eggplants in my other veggie garden down the back. Do you ever feel bad when you pull out a plant that looks happy and healthy? I get guilty. Just do it. Oh, no. Don't do that. There's a steak in here. Oh, look at it. Look at all the flowers it had on it too. What have I done? Goodbye. Goodbye, eggplant. Goodbye, eggplant number 2. Now I've got some space. Do you like my homemade labels? Just got some stakes, painted them, and then you can just write on them. Well, the black markers slowly come off, but I can use it again now for whatever I plant next. I'm not going to plant anything in there today because it's a little bit too warm. Maybe tomorrow. But let's head down to the veggie patch and check on that corn. This is my little corn field. My corn this season has been at less than average. Less than average? Less than perfect? It's been bad. These cobs are all very, very dry. We've got these ones that haven't even covered in ants. I'm just going to cut that out right now. Bye-bye. Let's have a look. See what we got, if anything. Oh, a little baby. But it's got some corn on it. It's also got some black stuff on it. I don't know what that is. I wonder if they're any good. Have you ever eaten corn fresh off the cob? Stop it. No good. It's corny, but it's very very floury, which is very disappointing. So many layers. Look, they look good. Maybe it was just that one. I mean, it's not the worst tasting, but not the best tasting either. Goodbye, corn. You will not be missed. I'm going to pull these cobs off as it is. Maybe the chickens will eat it. You know, you can make corn silk tea by steeping the silks, these little bits of the corn. Quite often used in Chinese herbal medicine. I think it's supposed to help with stomach ailments. You know, if you've got a bit of an upset stomach, I believe. I've never tasted it, but I'd give it a go. It'll probably just taste corny, I would think. A bit of a corny flavour to it. Bed cleared. I don't know if you noticed, but I just cut the stalks off right at the base. Didn't actually pull them out of the ground. I'm going to leave the roots in there. It's part of, sort of similar to like a no-dig method, where you just cut everything off, leave the roots in there, because they've created a relationship with the fungi, the mycorrhizal fungi in the ground, which is full of beneficial microbes. Microbes? What's the word? microorganisms that help the soil and enrich the soil. They will break down over time, again, adding to the soil health. What I will do now is just add a layer of compost to the top of the bed before planting out for the new season. Still haven't really worked out what I'm going to put in this one. I've obviously got some space for some climbing plants, maybe some peas to go up the frame. Maybe my sweet peas. I can have a whole bunch of sweet peas growing up the frame. And then probably some brassicas in the front section. I also have to think about which bed I'm going to put my garlic in. It's almost a garlic sowing season. What am I going to do with all these corn stalks? I'm going to do a bit of chop and drop in my little food forest area, which is where we started today's episode. This side of the garden, I'm trying to create a food forest, which is a very slow process because I'm making a lot of mistakes. I've got my double grafted apple tree. I've just put in a tree tomato, a tomatillo? Tamarillo. I always get them mixed up, tomatillos and tamarillos. Tamarillo. There's a fig there, pepino on the ground, which is looking a little worse for wear. My Paw Paw on that little section. I created a path in the middle. I've also put in a plum, and there is my mango and guava, pineapple guava. It's a work in progress. But the soil is a little, it's less than ideal. So I'm going to start trying to amend it as much as possible. And chopping and dropping is a good way to do that. These will break down and provide goodness for the soil. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed spending some time with me in the garden. Let me know what you are doing in the garden. Where are we? March. It's autumn in Australia. What you're currently up to in the garden in the comments, because I'd love to hear. And we'll see you next week. Bye.